Hello, my name is Ruth Funk. I live in Melbourne, Florida, and my hobby is making clothes. I do mostly jackets and coats, and I use the square cut pattern for the jackets and a wonderful ethnic pattern called the Ocello coat for some of the more elaborate coats that I make. I worked 3 years on this book, which came out in publication in August, and it is a book that has photographs and some processes of my clothes. I also do jewelry with the needle and thread, and I also hand finish all of my garments. I started sewing and making clothes to wear in Florida for myself around 1988. I do not sell my clothes. I make them primarily as creative expressions and just for my own joy of sewing as a creative way rather than painting, which I used to do. In trying to find a home for these clothes, now that I've gotten older, I had looked around to see what I could do with them, and Florida Institute of Technology was very interested in expanding their humanities department. When I spoke to them about the possibility of a textile center, they were very interested. And so I contributed money, and they built a textile center which opened last August. This book came out about the same time, and it shows photographs of the work that I have done and also tells a little story about each of the pieces, and of course each coat has its own story. I think that there will be an academic textile program at Florida Tech as well as the Textile Center, and so we hope to do a revision of interest in textiles in the area. Textiles for many years was sort of shunned by the museums. It was not considered always an art object. It was considered more or less a necessity, and now there is great interest in creative textiles all over the country. I would like to tell you a little bit about the jacket that I'm wearing. It is a silk jacket, probably from the 1960s. I bought the dress, which was a 1960s dress. You remember how skinny they were. So I didn't have a lot of fabric. I bought it in a thrift shop for $3. And as I took it apart to make a jacket, which is a square cut jacket, which is like a T, I found that it was a Jim Thompson silk. Now, Jim Thompson was a very prominent name in Bangkok because he was an American who stayed over after he got out of service and sort of reinstituted and renewed the silk weaving as a cottage industry. So there are a lot of wonderful silks that have come to us from his efforts. This jacket, I put it together and put ribbons over it because of the patterns and lined it with silk, and the frogs are the original frogs, and the cuffs are Jim Thompson silk. He has done a lot of scarves and ties and small pieces as well as yardage. I also want to talk to you a little bit about the Ocello coat, which is mentioned in my book. The Ocello coat is I think, an ethnic pattern, probably from Africa. It's made with 3 yards of fabric and 2 seams, and anybody can make it and anybody can wear it. This is my beloved Bernina sewing machine. It's about 20 years old. I'm not sure what I could do without it. It's really the mainstay of all of my efforts. I use it primarily for the main seams. I do the finishing by hand, but I don't use the fancy stitches very often. I do go back and forth, and the zigzag are my 2 favorite things. It's a real workhorse, and it's really great to have such a strong machine. This is an Ocello coat, and again made from an old obi, Japanese obi, and the obi is what they call the wide sash that they use to wrap the Japanese kimonos with. And this is all silk. The back Again, has part of the obi hanging down the back. And these cords here flop as you walk. And the piece here at the top, which covers up that 8-inch seam, is an old buckle from the 1940s. It's a very lightweight coat and very easy to wear. You can see how one size might fit all. This coat over here, again, is an Othello coat made from silk that was given to me by Jack Larson. It was embroidered in India, and it's a very interesting decoration in the back. This is made from an Indian placemat and an old buckle. And again, I have the dangles which move as you walk. Thank you very much for your attention. I appreciate talking with you. And if you have any further questions, please do not hesitate to contact me. We have enjoyed showing you what we can with what we do, and please let us know if you would like further information.